Today on a very special episode of Smokes and Spirits, we got Rachel from Rocky Patel. And so I don't forget, we are being hosted today by the Godfather Cigar and Martini Bar at Tinkin and Rochester Road and Rochester Hills. Come and see Marty. He's got a great humidor, great bar, great selection. Welcome to Sticks and Spirits. Rachel, thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me. I'm excited to be here.
It's good to meet you. Rocky Patel is one of the premium brands in the entire industry.
Yes.
So it's going to be fun to talk about that lineup today. But before we get into that lineup, Rachel, listen, I've seen a lot of women in the cigar business, but usually they're rolling down in Nicaragua, they're rolling down in the Dominican Republic, their influences. Not a lot in the business. And you're the rep for, what's your territory?
I just have Michigan.
Just Michigan?
Yes.
Because Rocky's big enough.
Yeah, that we can just do one
that
state.
You can do one state, which is nice for travel.
It is, yes.
But tell us, how did you get into it and what's it like for you?
So I was brought up like in the cigar industry. My grandfather smoked cigars. My dad smoked cigars when, Black and Milds were just a thing to smoke.
Yeah.
I was always brought up around it. So it wasn't, something new for me coming into the industry. I ran a cigar bar for 7 to 8 years. And that's actually how I met Rocky, is doing events when he'd come into town. And then they had the Michigan job open up about last February. So I've been with the company since last April.
Last a year ago? Or?
Yeah, 2029.
So what's life like?
It's amazing. Most people think, oh, you're just, sitting in cigar lounges smoking every day. That is the case, most of the time. It's relationship building. You're getting to know the customers. You're just not an order taker. You're a partnership with, your accounts. So, you're getting to know not only like the owner, but the clientele that hangs out in the lounges.
And you're competing for space.
Yeah, you're competing for space. There's so many great companies out there, but at the end of the day, the other reps in the territory, we all get along. There's a piece of the pie for, everybody.
So when I think about Rocky Patel, besides the enormous celebrity of Rocky himself, I think about the lineup, and there's so many.
So many.
I did we did a Rocky on the show about 3 or 4 weeks ago.
Yeah.
And so I was on the website doing some research, and I think at the time, because it could grow with you guys,
right.
I think it was 49.
Yeah, just about that.
Right?
I think we release about 2 new cigars yearly.
With different Vitolas, but 49 blends.
Yes.
So that's a lot of cigars.
A lot of cigars.
Why has the company chosen to make that many, and how do you keep that from becoming overwhelming?
I think it's, it can be overwhelming just because, we do release, like you said, 2 and 3 cigars per year, but every cigar is different. There's a different story behind every cigar. Rocky's a chef by trade, and an attorney as well. So that is, his, passion is coming up with new blends. And so I think that has a lot to do with it as well. So yeah, our inventory, expands yearly. So
yeah, just over and up and up and up and up.
Yeah.
I was going to ask the next question, but since we're talking about how many different blends they have, what are you smoking?
I am smoking the A.L.R, the 2nd edition.
And I'm smoking a very big version of the Decade.
Yes.
Everyone knows I love the Gordo.
Yep.
Yes.
Yep. I'm smoking. I think what I'm assuming is a joint venture. I'm the Java.
Yeah, with
the Drew Estate.
Yes, Drew Estate does make it for us. So a lot of people do think it's actually a Drew Estate cigar. But if you flip the box around, it actually says Rocky.
And I'm a pretty big coffee guy, so I was like, when I saw Java, I was like, okay.
But they pair great with coffee. That is my go-to.
I'm gonna try that
cigar.
one time in the morning with a cigar.
And you said
coffee.
Not to. That's the mint, or is that the?
That's the Java.
The
No,
Maduro.
Maduro. Yeah, Maduro.
The latte goes great with coffee. I love the mint too. I always tell people it kind of has that undertones of like a thin mint Girl Scout cookie.
That's
that
what you could have with your frittata.
I could.
Yeah.
This one I was really impressed with like the smell on it. It wasn't. I mean, normally in certain cigars you smell cocoa. This was chocolate.
Yeah.
Like you smell like
absolutely.
a dark chocolate.
I was gonna say dark
and
chocolate.
then getting into it, like now that I'm halfway through it, I get a lot more of the cocoa, or not the cocoa, but the espresso and like that coffee flavor in there, which is great because I don't normally do infused or anything. It's not infused, but I don't like infused so much. Like I started out with Decades, and I like big, bold cigars. This one I'm very impressed with. I love this.
And that is a great cigar if you are a new cigar smoker,
Mhm.
because you have a lot of, like, our younger generation is huge with vaping.
Yep.
So if I'm going to, someone's like, hey, I want to, get rid of vaping, I want to start smoking cigars. That is a great cigar to
Oh, sure, because
introduce.
they're doing flavor.
Yes, that is a great, like, introductory cigar if you're going to start smoking cigars. And a lot of women gravitate those because of, like, the sweetness taste of
Yep.
them. So it doesn't have, like, that harsh, earthy, peppery taste to it.
Yep. So forget about all like the new stuff and the stuff you're promoting and all of that. What is a slept on cigar from Rocky Patel that like people just don't normally go after?
The A.L.R. second edition. I think it's great. It's aged 6 to 7 years. It has a beautiful San Andreas wrapper on it. Nicaraguan tobacco, Nicaraguan filler. It does have, you're going to pull that, caramel, dark chocolate espresso taste from it. And then it also goes into kind of like a little bit of an earthy note. So I think you get the best of both worlds, and it's a medium to full. My opinion, I think it's more on the medium side, so it's not as super harsh.
So the San Andreas wrapper, I think, is a tremendous wrapper.
Yeah.
Now on the show we did a while ago a complete Vitola or a Puro, a San Andreas
Okay.
Polo, Puro. No.
No.
But the wrapper is fantastic.
Yeah, it's beautiful. Yeah, this is a great cigar. I always, this is one of my daily go-tos. And a lot of people, either they've seen it and not tried it. So that's kind of like, I try to push this one the most.
So as Rachel is getting ready for the show downstairs, because it's a Rocky Patel event here tonight at Godfather's, I saw her go to her purse, pull out a cigar,
Yeah.
a lighter, and a cutter. I'm like,
Yeah.
that's a woman right there.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
fantastic.
Yeah. Prepared at all times. Yeah.
Now you're around retailers and
Mhm.
you're around cigar smokers a lot,
Yeah. Daily.
which is wonderful,
Yeah.
I think. What's something about the Rocky Patel family, about how your cigars are made, about the industry that even serious cigar smokers may not be aware of?
Okay, I always tell people this, and they're shocked by this. The cigar that you and I are smoking, there's 200 to 300 sets of hands that touch that cigar before it gets into your hands.
That's
Wow,
amazing.
that's crazy.
Yeah,
That's
Yeah, and if you go down to the factory, which I'm going to be going down in the fall, you get to see the whole process of it. So I'm stoked to actually go and see it all.
now
you know, from
he's
A
got
to Z.
2 factories, Steli
There's 3 in Nicaragua, and then we have the one in Honduras.
and the one in Honduras.
Mm.
But you do
Right.
make blends there from Dominican tobacco.
Yes.
But you bring it in.
Yes, yeah,
Gotcha,
of course.
okay.
all right. So off the clock, you're at home,
Mhm.
you're just chilling, having a cigar and a drink or whatever.
Mhm.
What do you go to? Or what's in your hand? What's in your glass?
The A.L.R. second edition and the new Sapphire. Very, very fond of. What's in my glass? Of course, a bourbon, because that pairs, I think, well with a cigar. Four Roses Kentucky Spirit. Love the taste of that. It's got that sweet taste, so it kind of pairs good with, the cigars that have more of that chocolate caramel notes to it. Or Jefferson's Ocean.
Jefferson's Ocean.
That's great.
Yeah.
Great bourbon.
as well.
Yeah. And Russell's Reserve 13, if you can find the bottle.
Oh, we did that. Yeah.
I have 2 at the house.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You got to buy one and then a backup.
Yep.
Yeah.
So
That's one of those
the,
bundles.
the 10 is usually a couple of our
Yeah.
guys go tos.
Yeah.
It's just if it's there,
Yeah.
that's what they're drinking.
Macallan 18 is also another great go-to.
There's so many those allocated bourbons, and most of them are pretty good. Not all of them.
Yeah.
Most of them are. I'm not sure I've ever had a better bourbon than the Russell's 13.
Yeah,
I'm really not. And I was
really
fortunate enough to
that.
try the 15.
Yeah.
And I like the 13 better.
The 13 is, I think, hands down, probably the best bourbon they've, made.
Yeah, it's really something. I'm a big fan of Wild Turkey.
Yeah.
So it's a great bourbon. Okay.
Yeah.
Somebody's watching us here at Godfather's, Tinkin and Rochester Road in downtown Rochester Hills, and they walk in, say they're walking tonight for the event. So,
Mhm.
Rocky Patel, I've never had one. What are you pointing them to get them started on a Rocky journey?
I would say probably our vintage line. It's been around for many, many years. So I think that's a really good beginner cigar. Like I said, the Java, but you're getting more of, like I said, that chocolate, the mint, the red. I think those are good beginner cigars. Like I said, if people are coming off of vaping, more gravitated towards female smoker. Not saying it's all for females, men love it too. I think the vintage line does really great. Our 1999, which is our
Yeah,
Connecticut.
it's great.
That's a light cigar. The price point on it's great. And then the 1999, if you want something that's more of like your medium to full body.
So last question.
Mhm.
We do these interviews as often as we can. They're a lot of fun. Again, thanks, Rachel.
Yes, absolutely.
Rocky Patel for joining us. What is something that nobody ever asks you about that we should probably know? It could be your life on the road. It could be your life with cigars. It could be about Rocky. It could be about the industry. Just something that nobody asks and we should be asking.
I think just getting to know the rep personally, because it's always, the rep getting to know the customers that hang out, in the retail stores. So I think I don't get asked enough questions like the questions that you guys ask me. How did you get into cigar smoking? We're always talking about specifically like the line of cigars.
And a lot of times the new releases because,
Yes,
because that's what you're trying to get
Yeah.
out there, right?
Yeah. So I think personally, people getting to know me more on a personal level would be helpful.
Yeah, you learn more.
Yeah, you do.
I mean,
You
as
do.
end users, you
Yeah.
learn more. Like,
Exactly.
I've learned today. I've been smoking Rockies for
Yeah.
30 years.
Yeah.
And I've learned stuff today. So
I mean, shoot, I started with the little, I call them the baby ones now because now I smoke the Gordos and
Yeah.
everything, but I started with the baby decades. That was my
Big
kind of my
things, yeah.
intro into it. I mean, I think those are the first ones I got from
correct.
you
Absolutely
for
correct.
the little ones. And I mean, outside of like,
We call Robustos little now. That's
We'll pick it up for you right now. And I think that's just it's a quick smoke. If you
Yeah.
don't have
Yep.
an hour to sit down, a Robusto's perfect to go to. So like when I do events, I will gravitate more towards a Robusto just because I'm lighting it, putting it down,
Yep.
lighting it, putting
Yep.
it down because I'm constantly talking or sometimes I put it down and I can't remember for the life of me where I set it down at. So,
yeah,
but
absolutely.
normally I'm more of a Toro.
A little bit bigger, not quite
Yeah.
the Gordo.
Yep.
And it's a good, yeah. I like, one of the reasons I like the Gordos is because it forces me, to your point, to find a place
Yep.
and settle down for an hour, 15 minutes,
Yeah.
and just
relax.
Yeah.
relax and enjoy.
Yeah. And I don't think people get how decompressing it is to sit and actually smoke a cigar. And the conversations that you have with people, you could have a CEO of a major company and, a grocery store worker and it's the same table and the conversation's still going to be the same.
Yeah, 100%.
But it's a very family based industry.
I'll bet you experienced it. So
Yeah.
when I travel for work, as soon as that plane hits down, I'm on Google looking for a cigar bar.
Yeah.
Right.
Same.
And it doesn't matter where I go. It doesn't matter what neighborhood I'm in.
Yeah. Also that.
I'm welcome there.
Yes. Yeah. The cigar community is very welcoming.
Yeah, no question.
It's a great atmosphere.
Well, Rachel, thank you
Yes.
so much for your time. Let's have a great event tonight. Rachel with Rocky Patel, great cigar, great line. You got some great information today. And if you happen to be Southeast Michigan, come to Godfather's, say hi to Marty. So until next time, keep your sticks lit, keep your spirits high. Cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers.